You guys good? Always, man. Appreciate you guys coming out, taking time. Thankful for your guys' time and all you guys that traveled to South Bend with us, man. Appreciate your guys' travel and coming out there. And like I said, always appreciate you guys. Thank you, Jesus, for an opportunity to get better and coach this team, man, and have an impact on these kids. I love this team. I love this staff, and I love Bronco Nation. We got to continue to get better with everything we do. And we played 5 games and learned a lot from those 5 games. We're 3-2. And I've learned a lot in every game, but especially in our losses, I've learned a lot. And watching the film after the Notre Dame game, still very proud of how our team battled, right? Feel way different than I did after South Florida. A loss is a loss. There are absolutely no moral victories. We lost in all 3 phases. That's hats off to Notre Dame. But our team battled. And we had every opportunity to make plays to win that football game. We didn't, and that's for us as coaches. But when you have a foundation of your guys playing hard, you always got a shot. And there's a lot of things for us to clean up in all 3 phases. Watching the film, offensively, similar to what we talked about, we got to continue to find ways to create explosive plays, right? I think we only had 3 explosive plays in the game. You're not going to win football. You're not going to win football games that way. When you turn the ball over, which we did, and you don't create explosive plays and you give up explosive plays, you lose the game 98% of the time. That's a stat that we look at holistically, and we did not win those areas, and we lost the football game because of it. There are some good things offensively that we did show in the game. We got to continue to build on, right? And I think just like anything we talked about, like watching the game again, there's some good things Maddox did, right? He did make some good throws. There's some really good things our receivers did. Like there was more opportunities in that game where they were open and created separation than I initially saw on the field. And I'm proud of that. We got to continue to build on that. There's some moments with our protection that was really good. There's some moments with our protection that it wasn't. So we were not able to get in rhythm as an offense to sustain drives. Penalties hurt that. Still some sins, self-inflicted negatives, some false starts that put us behind the sticks. There's obviously a couple calls in the game that I think obviously I can nitpick. Those happen. We got to respond when some of those penalties or mistakes happen and be able to be explosive, and we weren't. And at the end of the day, we turned the ball over, which can't happen. So have had really good conversation with our leaders today. It's a great group of guys that's excited to learn and grow from this, but I am proud of how they battled. Defensively, very similar, man. They battled. We did not tackle the way we want to. Those are 2 really good running backs. And that's not an excuse by any means, but it shows where you're at as a tackling team when you go against really good ball carriers. And so it's a really good parameter for us of where we need to grow to. We're going to see really good running backs this Saturday night against New Mexico. Have to continue to improve our tackling in all 3 layers of defense. But I'm proud of how our guys were able to find a way to create negative plays defensively. We did have 2 fourth down stops, which was huge. But we didn't take the ball away at all. We need to defensively, especially in those games, and really any game, we got to take the ball away. That's a huge stat in regards to winning football games. But I'm proud of how our guys battled. And special teams-wise, there was really good back and forth. We had an opportunity to block a punt, missed alignment by us that would have created that. We did it. But proud of some of the back and forth. The blocked PAT, when they're chasing points, that's a huge deal for us. We didn't play great as a punt unit on Saturday afternoon, which we have played really well as a punt unit to date. So we got to look at and see kind of why we didn't cover the punt early in the game well. That led to an explosive play. And then obviously the sky punt situation where we want to be able to pin them inside their 10-yard line. It wasn't a good punt, and we gotta get that fixed. So in all 3 phases, there's a lot to learn and grow from. Disappointed that we lost the game. Disappointed in the fact that we didn't come out of there with a victory. And when you get these games at Boise State, I take full responsibility. We have to find a way to win those games, and we haven't. And that is on me. I don't ever want anyone to think that I'm okay with that. We got to find a way too, because we do have enough to find a way to win those games, and we did. And our staff, our players, are excited to learn from it. Fast forward into New Mexico this Saturday night, and I'm really, so impressed with what Jason Eck has been able to do in his time in New Mexico. Obviously impressed with what he did at Idaho. But, man, what he's been able to do in New Mexico in the months he's been there is impressive. I mean, he's a Coach of the Year candidate, no questions asked. And he's earned that. How they've been able to play. I mean, they're 3-2 like us. Absolutely battled Michigan on the road, game 1. We're in that game the entire game against a top 15 team on the road. And then they go into UCLA, beat UCLA. I mean, they beat them well. And we just saw what UCLA can do in beating Penn State. And they played really well. So hats off to Jason Eck. I mean, I'm not saying that just because we're playing him this weekend. I mean, I think the world of what he's done, his coaching staff, his players. I mean, they're one of the top teams in the Mountain West, and that's earned and deserved by him, and their staff deserve that credit. When you look at what they do offensively, I mean, they put you in a lot of conflict. They got a bunch of tailbacks, and all of them are explosive. They did a really good job in recruiting by finding guys that can come in and play and make an impact. Their running backs are good. The quarterback, Jack from Idaho, man, he's a really good quarterback. He can make all the throws. He is very mobile as well. Their O-line, Coach Eck, I mean, he's done a really good job with their offensive line. They attack you in the run game. We're going to see run schemes to attack us. Not, all right, this is just kind of what we do. No. They are going to do run game to attack Boise State. And what we have struggled with, we will see Saturday night. We got to make sure we're dialed on that. They got their tight end, number 7, who's an Arizona transfer, is a really good player. He's a matchup issue. Run game, pass game, he's done a really good job. They got receivers that can run. And schematically, they're going to attack you. They're going to have trick plays. They're going to give you formations to adjust to, extra tackles in the game. They put an O-lineman in the game. Like, they do a lot of stuff to put you on your heels. That's hats off to Coach Eck and their staff. So we got a lot to deal with defensively. And on the flip side, what they do defensively, they play really, really sound football. And watching their film, really impressed with just how sound they play. Coach Eck's son, Jackson, the number 6 linebacker, man, he plays hard. He plays relentless. He's one of the best players in the Mountain West that I've seen defensively. Love how he plays linebacker. They got a really good front, too. They got an edge player, number 1, that can create a lot of havoc on the quarterback. DB-wise, they hit really good on some of the transfers they got that can cover, and they're not gonna give up explosive plays. They deny the explosive play defensively, and I got a lot of respect for that. Special teams-wise, they got really, really good returners. And that's something even talked with Coach Collins today. Our coverage units have to be on point. They're going to fake a punt or a kickoff. That's going to happen on Saturday. We got to do a really good job responding to that. And we got to cover kicks because they got returners that can make you miss and make you in a really bad spot really quickly. So we got our hands full of New Mexico, man. Hats off to Coach Eck. We got a really, really good opponent come to the Blue on Saturday night. And we need Bronco Nation to show up just like they did against every single opponent this year. And once again, Bronco Nation, thank you for taking the time and money to come see us in Notre Dame. Man, that does not go unnoticed. There was a ton of blue in that stadium. And I'm so thankful for our fan base. I know they're going to show up in a major way Saturday night, and we need every single bit of them with the Lobos coming to town. With that being said, open up for questions.
Spencer, just with the penalties, we chatted a little bit over the weekend about some. Is there anything actionable you can do to maybe help bring back the penalties? Whether it's practicing reps and practice or pulling guys out for a series. Is there something you can do to bring this back?
Yeah, we got to figure it out, right? I mean, we are in the business of being problem solvers. So there's no issue that we'll see on film that I'm ever going to be like, this is what it is. Never. So let's talk false starts. Yeah, we've had them almost in every game. We are not like, it's whatever. It can't happen. Cannot happen. Can't start behind the sticks. So we're looking at what are we not communicating? Is it performance anxiety in some of these moments? Is it our guys getting worn down? But we have to figure that out. And that's a conversation we've had. There's some penalties in play that happened that, like the one on Latrell on the explosive screen. I think he did a really good job with it, right? I mean, I really do, right? But we're going to coach there were some PI penalties in the game. We got to coach it better. But our guys are battling. There was the personal foul on Latrell on the when he tackled the guy at the interception. Watch it on film, it was late. Honestly, seeing it in game, I thought it was pretty bang bang. I thought it was bang bang. He's getting the guy on the ground after an interception. Those are ones I got to continue to look at and how we're teaching it to make sure. But any penalty all penalties are a version of a lack of discipline. No question. I got to look at that as a staff with our players. How can we make sure we have high accountability to make sure that doesn't happen? There are bang things that happen in a game, holding, that we just got to make sure it's a fundamental and technique issue. So we're looking at it to make sure we can be better. Because I don't know how many penalties Notre Dame has. I think we had 11, and that's going to put you behind.
Matt Lauder, I don't know what you can say about his injury, but do you expect it to be a long-term thing, or is it something that you think he can bounce back?
Yeah, as of right now, I feel really confident that Matt will be available this week. He was going through concussion protocols last week, And so obviously hurt not having him, but I believe he's going to be ready to roll. That's not 100% yet, but I believe he's going to be available.
Did you have to change up your offensive game plan at all without him in there?
I mean, Matt Lauder's a huge part of our offense, but it's next man up, carry the flag, and our guys did a good job responding from either different personnels we use. I mean, we used some 10 in the game, right, to get some more receivers in, and Matt Wagner stepped up and did some really good things, and some other tight ends did as well. So it's always next man up, carry the flag, but Matt Lauder's a huge part of our offense.
Going back to the penalties, a third of your penalties are by the offensive line. Do you compartmentalize it when you look at the penalty problem and look at, okay, there's been 15, 16, 17 offensive line penalties, I think by 6 different guys, maybe everybody but Cage.
Yeah.
So how do you compartmentalize the offensive line part of that?
Yeah, every single penalty we look at to see why did it happen, and then what are we teaching? What are we teaching? Are we missing some? Because what we control as coaches, this isn't mythological, right? We control our meetings and our practice. That's what we have with our players. So if there's an issue, tackling gets brought up, penalties get brought up, we have to find a way, Prater, in meetings and practice to get it fixed. False starts. What are we missing? Are we not teaching something the right way? Are we not drilling it the right way in practice? Or is it a performance anxiety? Then we got to turn the heat up more in practice so when I get in the game, I'm not acting out of character. I'm doing exactly what I'm trained to do. Because when you practice, you're not just practicing to get something right. You're practicing to know without question I'm not going to get it wrong, right? And so absolutely, I mean, we're looking at, there's some holding penalties that are just a lack of us getting our feet in the ground. So I'm off balance, I'm not in a good spot, a D lineman crossed my face, now all of a sudden I got to hold him to not give up a TFL. Fundamentals. And we gotta work to get it fixed.
When it comes to Maddox, decision-making wise, early in the game, it seemed like there was a couple times where he would roll out of the pocket when maybe the pressure just wasn't there.
Yeah.
What did you see kind of decision-making wise early on?
Yeah, I think just like anything, and Maddox does a great job not giving up sacks, right? I mean, I think that's something that people don't see enough of, right? It's okay to throw that ball in the stands, man. And he's done that at a very high level. Took some sacks on Saturday, some because of a lack of protection, absolutely. And so in game, I mean, playing quarterback at Boise State, we put a lot on Maddox, and he absolutely can handle it. Like I said, and I will not ever go away from how I felt at the end of the game. I feel the same, even watch the film. Maddox Matson is our quarterback, and I wouldn't want to have any other quarterback in the country than him, period, end of story. But there are moments in the game where the protection was there, and he left the pocket too early. Absolutely there was. There was some times, though, that the reason why that happened is because a play affected how he felt previously. That's a big thing for me with Maddox is don't let one play affect the next. Just because maybe on one read, the backside read wasn't open, don't not come back to the backside the next time we're in a similar concept. Does that make sense? Yeah. So just don't let it affect. But he's a competitor. Yes, there's some things on film, no doubt, that Maddox has to do better. Absolutely. But that is our quarterback. He did some good things on Saturday. He battled, and he's going to learn and grow from this game.
Yeah, I think only attempted one pass over 20 yards in the air down the field. Was that the pressure, not having the time? Was that the guys not getting open? I mean, you mentioned trying to get the ball down the field a little more.
We have to be more explosive offensively, BJ. Now, before I even get to that question, we have to be able to run the football efficiently. That's a DNA part of our team. And we didn't. I mean, I think we rushed for 2+ yards a carry. That you're not going to be successful as an offense if that's where your rush yards are. So, and then that we're playing into the defense's hands if we can't run the football, because then they can just let the front eat and they can play whatever coverage they want, and that makes it tough. So first off, we have to be able to run the football, and then we have to be able to be explosive throwing the football downfield, play action, all these different things to get guys. We got to be able to throw deep fade balls and let our receivers go win 50. We have to, absolutely. In the game, we weren't efficient enough on first and second down, and so then in must-pass situations, you're not setting your team up for success, and that's what we got into. So then when you're down 2 scores, 21-7, and they can just say let the front go rush, and we can design coverages to make it really hard. That's just not that's a hard place to be in. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you're playing against. We're down 21-7 in New Mexico on Saturday. That's not a good situation for us to be in offensively. And we got to make sure we don't get in those holes. But we have to be more explosive, and that starts with running the football. And then we got to be able to shoot our shots down the field. And I believe our receivers can win.
How much did the starting at your own 1 yard line, the first drive of the game, you had tried to do the tush push or the QB sneak, whatever, just to get some yardage. But how much did that just kind of mess with the game script or the flow of just when you're setting things up, you're not expecting to be starting at your own one.
Yeah, I think when you plan an opening script as an offense, I know, no one wants that to be on the one, right? So thankful it was, though, right? I'd much rather get a 4th down stop on the inch-yard line and trust our offense to go move the ball field. But no, I mean, that throws you off. But we train backed up football every single week. That's our plan every single week, to get it to a certain yard marker, then be able to run the football, be able to pick our spots, to be able to get a first down, pick our shots down there too. So it wasn't outside of the norm of football, but obviously we didn't execute in that situation to change a lot. We got a penalty which got us out of there, but that's something we practiced, BJ. We didn't execute.
You said there's areas where Maddox has to get better.
Yep.
Where is your focus on that right now?
Yeah, not letting one play affect the next. That's one. I mean, Maddox Madsen absolutely preps his tail off. What does that look like? I mean, he dang near will memorize the call sheet because of how much he preps. He knows where out on the field we're gonna like. I mean, this guy, I don't think anybody gives him enough credit in regards to the work he puts in to play quarterback at Boise State. So, but as a competitor, just don't let maybe a negative that happened before the certain play affect how you deal with the next time. Because he's one of the best I've ever been around that can read the field really well, see it clearly, understand the flow of the game, and being really smart with the football. When it's not there to throw it away, and that wasn't consistent in this game, and just don't let one play affect that, because he's a competitor. There's not a guy that works harder for this team to win than Maddox Madsen. And don't let one play affect the next.
The pass rush, JVM and Steege collectively, 2 sacks, I think 2 hurries as well. I'm sure that's not what they like. How would you assess why the pass rush hasn't been there like it was last year from, I know you had 2 first-team all-league guys on the edge. It was tough to replace that, but you certainly want more than 2 sacks collectively after 5 games.
Yeah, no question. Well, first off, BJ and Johnny, first off with both those guys, I think they're playing really well. Does that mean I think that they don't have a lot of room to grow? They absolutely have a lot of room to grow. But let's look at in comparative. Last season at this point, we were winning a lot of games, right? We were up in a lot of games. So what does that dictate an offense to have to do? They got to throw the football more. They got to throw the football. And we can then go pin our ears back as a defensive front and go get – in a game like that, I mean, we were winning for a little bit of the game against Notre Dame, but for the most part, they were up. And so they can always dictate when they want to run the football, and that dictates the type of calls that Coach Shenander can use. Now, there were some moments in this game where we had 4-man rushes, and we were not creating pressure on the quarterback, right? We got to look at those things. What are we teaching? How can we get our guys to create more pressure with 4-man rush? Because on the flip side, Notre Dame was able to do that. They were able to create pressure with blitzes, but they were able to create a lot of pressure on Maddox with just 4-man rush. And we got to find better ways to do it. And I believe in Max. I believe in Jay. They are playing the run game really, really well. So proud of them. I mean, we played Air Force. We played some run-the-football teams. But we do need to create more pressure on the quarterback.
Overall, defensively, I mean, to hold that team to 28 points and do some of the things he did, I mean, there were some big explosives, but overall, I mean, what did you think of the defense?
I'm proud of how they battled, BJ. I really am. And I had a good talk with our defensive staff and our defensive leadership. Man, there was no quit in our defense. Even missing a tackle, giving up. Like, there's a couple 3rd downs where we didn't execute. That's a lack of execution. But we still found a way to get a stop. Like, I'm proud of that, man. I'm proud of how our guys battled. Going into the game, I think they're one of the most explosive offenses in the country. And what our guys did, there's still so much there for it. There's multiple missed tackles that I know we're better than. Those are 2 really good backs, but I know we can tackle better than we did. We got to continue to train and rep it. But overall, I'm proud of how our defense battled. The biggest thing defensively that I want to continue to focus on for our defense is we got to get off the field on 3rd and long. Have to get off the field on 3rd and long. We lost a couple 3rd and longs that if we don't, that game could swing differently because that's like a turnover, right? And there's a couple plays there, especially in the 2nd quarter and the 3rd quarter that we didn't, that led to points. So, but very proud of our 2-4 getting off the field on 4th down. Huge. And we got to create more takeaways.
You've played 2 tough non-conference games on the road against teams that are having good seasons, Notre Dame and USF. How do you think that'll help you heading into the second half of the season?
Yeah, first off, Bob, I want to be very clear with everybody. Like, I'm disappointed that we lost those 2 non-conference games. We don't schedule games to not win. At Boise State, we don't. And I talked to a lot of head coaches in the offseason that, oh, yeah, we're playing this team, and we're going to go shoot our shot. Like, what are you talking about, shoot our shot? Like, at Boise State, we sign contracts to win, That's the standard here. That's not like what I'm trying to create. That's been the standard here. And we haven't. And that frustrates me. That disappoints me. But I'm also know that what God's going to work it all for good. I believe that. We're going to learn from this, to your point, Bob, and I believe it's going to make us play better down the stretch as long as we learn from it. If as a team we don't, if as a team we're like, oh, whatever, and we live in an entitled world that we're just going to go, we'll lose every game we play because every single team we play has an opportunity to beat us. I know New Mexico has every right and all the talent in the world to come in here and beat us in the blue. So what are we going to do this week? So long-winded answer your question, Bob. I'm disappointed we lost, but I really believe we learned from every game, and especially our losses, and we got to be better.
Jason Eck, when he was at Idaho, he came down to Boise a few times a year. Did you ever get a chance to talk to him or meet him, or do you have any sort of relationship with him?
I didn't meet him a lot when he was at Idaho. Obviously, thought the world of him from afar, but getting to know him when he's been at New Mexico with meetings and whatnot, man, awesome dude, great personality. I mean, he's a football coach. He's a football coach, great to be around. I bet his players absolutely love him. And, I mean, just look at the body of work. Look at what he did at Idaho in the, I think, 3 seasons he was there. Took them from not a great football team to a playoff team. And then, I mean, shoot, look at what he's done in New Mexico in 8 months, 9 months, whatever it's been. Like, it's impressive. I mean, my hat's off to Coach Eck. And I don't say that lightly. I don't do that just because we're playing like – and I told him, and I texted him even after the UCLA game, like, that's impressive with what he's been through, first-year head coach at New Mexico, and how he recruited, the schematics they have, how hard their guys play. I mean, he's a Coach of the Year candidate for me.
When you look at film of them and kind of the creativity they have in their play call, just how ready do you guys need to be for just about anything?
We got to be ready for everything. I mean, they're going to come in here. Absolutely, their clip's going to be full, and our needs to be too. I mean, we're going to get everything from them, and that's who they are. That's a mentality for their football team. I mean, if you're going to get trick plays, you're going to get a bunch of different personnel groupings on offense, a bunch of different stuff to throw you off. Defensively, they're going to be on the attack. They're going to be sound. They're going to pick their spots. I mean, we have to be ready to play our best. We're not going to lose. I mean, that's when you got a really good conference opponent coming to town. We got to prep to play our best, and I got the utmost respect for Coach Eck and their staff.
Coach, you're trying to win a game on Saturday, and you don't believe in excuses, but since the NIL era started in 21, this football team is 0-7, and there's lots of different ways you can decipher that, but in many cases it's dudes versus dudes. Big picture, looking at what you guys need to do NIL, how much more do you need to push this to be competitive, to stay competitive, to be a national brand in the NIL world?
Yeah, Brett, a great question. And the question was brought up even after the game, and to me, I see it like this. It's 2025, and it's my job as a head coach to recruit, to retain. That's a huge part for me, retaining our best players and give ourselves the best opportunity to win every single game we play. Not kind of try to win a little bit and then no. We have to retain and recruit a roster to win every single game we play in. Period, end of story. And I believe this year we have absolutely enough. I believe we had enough to beat South Florida. We didn't. That's on me. I believe we had enough to beat Notre Dame. We didn't. That's on me. And I believe we have enough to win the rest of our games. I'm not saying we will or won't. That's still up for us to continue to show. But I do believe and know in the future we have to continue to grow in the NIL space. But I believe in Jeremiah Dickey more than anybody in the country, man. I believe we have the absolute best athletic director that is already looking for ways to continue to grow in this space to where we can support our players. But everything for me is going to be about retaining our best players, and then the players we do recruit have to fit here and have to be about this team. And do they want to come and have their life changed and be a part of a different program? But I believe we have enough. There is absolutely, and I'm not saying that because that's the right, there's no excuse. We went into South Florida and I believed every bit of my soul we are going to win this football game. We go to Notre Dame, there was not a doubt in my mind we're going to find a way to win. I didn't know how, but I was like, we're going to find a way because we don't need to beat them 10 times. We need to beat them once. And we didn't. And that's never going to be an excuse. But going forward, I believe in this place. I believe I have the best job in the country. And I believe we're going to continue to grow in this NIL space, and we need to retain our players, to continue to find the right ones that fit here. We need to, and I believe we will.
With the offensive line, obviously you mixed it up, with Holmes at center, and you had Randolph at guard. What was kind of the thought process there? And Roger, it seemed like every other play he was having to pull himself off the turf. He was obviously playing, giving you what he had
Yeah.
at well less than 100%.
Yeah, Roger's an absolute warrior. Absolute warrior. He would give his all for this team. I mean, injured a week ago, found a way, battling in the training room just to be available and be able to play on Saturday, BJ. So it was me and our offensive staff looking at how can we get our best 5 on the field. And Zach Holmes has done a good job. There's obviously some things on film that Zach needs to improve on, but it's always about how do we get our best 5 on the field. And then also how can we keep our guys fresh to make sure they stay healthy the rest of the season. So we're going to look at it again this week to see, okay, who are our best 5 and how can we put our best 5 in situations? And then how can we continue to develop the guys that maybe haven't played on the offensive line, because that's the future. We're a developmental program, especially in our fronts. How can we continue to grow and develop our fronts on the offensive line to where, shoot, maybe week 8 or 9, there's a guy that not really anybody knows a lot about right now, but he's been developing and he's got to be ready to play. So it's a huge developmental position for us. I'm proud of how our guys battled on the offensive line. Obviously, we've had some penalties. We had some things not go our way that we have to get fixed, but Coach Keene does a phenomenal job with that group, and that's a group that I trust. That's the heartbeat of our team. Our O-line is the mentality and heartbeat of our team. And they're unwavering. We got to make sure we get some guys healthy. We got to get our guys fresh this week because we got our hands full with New Mexico's front.
Couple more.
The lack of running the football, you mentioned 2 yards per carry, was that?
Yeah.
Was that just the O-line not creating holes? Was the backs not finding stuff? What'd you see?
I think it's holistic, BJ. There's times where we didn't create movement at the point of attack with our offensive line. We have to create movement at the point of attack. Tight ends included, receivers included. Got to create. Then there's times where there is holes there and our running backs don't find it. And then there's some schematic stuff that we missed in the game as coaches that, I shouldn't say missed, that we just got to have a better plan for going forward. So it's holistic.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.